It's the second season for John Sumrall. He went 23-4 in 2 seasons at Troy, 9-5 last year with the Tulane Green Wave, who made it to the championship game of the American Conference before they lost to Army. This year, there are a lot of expectations for the Green Wave, and Sumrall knows he has a lot of new faces in a lot of new places.
A very new team. Returning starters on offense, we have 2, okay? So that's a little bit daunting. Defensively, we're way more experienced. We've got 3 returning starters, okay? So, like, much more stable situation on that side of the ball.
Okay, I love the way he deadpanned that. Yeah, we got much more because of 3. But, Scott, look at this, though. From ESPN's playoff predictor, when you talk about teams out of the power conferences, behind Boise State is Tulane with almost a 25% chance of making it into the playoffs with the fact that they have 5 total returning starters. That says a lot about how the culture has changed down in New Orleans.
Absolutely. That graphic says a lot. I think every coach and every player wants to go from we need to prove people wrong to prove people right. And this program has gotten themselves, after that USC win a couple years ago, they are now trying to prove people right when it comes to playoff talk. Expectations are high. Everybody wants expectations. So to your point, the culture. Coach, listen to Coach Sumrall talk. I feel like playing. Listen to that bass in his voice and listen to him talk. He talks with a presence. He commands a group, a locker room. So I think he has no problem instilling his culture because of the respect they have for him, and his track record speaks for itself.
Yeah, let me give you some numbers here. From 1999 to 2021, Tulane averaged 4 wins a season, and in 21 they went 2-10. In the last 3 years, Tulane has won 32 games, and they've made 4 straight American Conference championships. Now, they fell short last year against Army, but to your point, now it has all shifted where, hey, let's hope we win 5 wins. Yeah. Now they don't want to get 2 losses, and they've been consistently getting to the championship in their conference.
Yeah, well, what they've done well is they've recruited well, but they're doing the little things well. They're playing good run defense. They're running the football. They're controlling the line of scrimmage. And I think that's where the biggest difference in the Tulane football program has been the last 3 years. They're able to line up against most teams in the country and play at the line of scrimmage. That's where games are won and lost on Saturdays.
They had the number 2 scoring offense in the American 1 year ago, the number 2 overall defense in the conference, and that was only behind Army in the rankings there. Another thing that Sumrall has done well, he lost 8 starters to the portal, and that is not going away, right, in college football. So you know what he did? He went out and got 20. Now, he lost 8 good ones, but he got 20, and all of them have experience. So it's not like he got a lot of rookies in that class. You replace talent with talent. Now you just got to get them in the system.
Yeah, and that's the nature of the game. Some people like the new nature of the game with college football. Some people don't. But I'll tell you this. It gives you an opportunity when you do lose players to go and put yourself – when Coach Sumrall goes out there in the portal, there's tons of players all across the country who may be second or third string on the depth chart who want to go to Tulane and play. Or maybe they've fallen out of favor at the other program they've been at. So I think it says a lot when you can go out and get that number of players in the portal. It speaks volumes about where you are as a program and who wants to play for you.
As you heard Coach say, he has 2 returners on offense, 3 on defense in terms of starters. So you know he will be looking to see who is going to emerge as a leader. That's going to be one of the big things to develop this Green Wave team.
One of my least favorite things I ever hear people say is like, we don't have enough leaders. Well, that's our job as coaches, to develop guys to be leaders. And so that's an incumbent upon us to do so. And I say it every day probably. I think good teams can be coach-led, but great teams, like championship caliber teams, have to be player-led. And I'm confident in the group we got. I like our locker room. I like the makeup of our leadership group, and I look forward to watching them lead our team this year.
And, of course, you're used to teams seeing a leader come from the quarterback position. It's a very interesting battle, Scott. There are 4 players down there now battling for the starting role as their starting quarterback did go to the portal and left for another school. What makes it interesting is that one of those players, Brendan Sullivan, who was expected to be one of the leaders, well, he's battling an ankle injury right now, so they're looking elsewhere, and it could be Jake Retzlaff.
Yeah, Jake Retzlaff came from BYU, but I think the other thing that you like in this quarterback battle, everybody likes to have familiarity, but I think when you have redshirt seniors, you have guys who have played a lot of football. So you're choosing you're letting this battle play out with guys who have a ton of experience. That always makes you feel comfortable going to sleep at night as a coach.
Retzlaff threw for almost 3,000 yards at BYU and 20 touchdowns. And after their latest scrimmage, here was the talk about the quarterback play.
Every player has different strengths and weaknesses. So what we cater around whoever the quarterback is may look a little different, depending on if they're needed in the game plan. And so Jake is at a place where he could do enough of what we've had in for a while. It's starting to slow down a little bit for him.
It felt good to get out there and do that scrimmage type deal. It's fun to run through the motions, and so game day is not the first time. It's good to get used to all that stuff and where I'm going to be on game today, what part of the field and all that stuff. It was fun.
Red Sox was late to the game in terms of getting to Tulane's campus, but he is now right in the middle of that battle. As you take a look at Tulane's schedule, where they'll open up with Northwestern, you've got South Alabama, and that Duke game will be interesting because their quarterback that used to be at Tulane is now at Duke. Then they have that big one, September 20th. That'll be against a ranked Ole Miss team. That'll be quite the challenge for the Wave.
Yeah, every coach, every player kind of goes through the schedule when they get it, and fan base. You kind of look for those measuring stick games. You get down, South Alabama's a good team week 2. You go to Duke, Ole Miss. Those are type measuring stick games early in the season where you're trying to see where your program is.
Take a look on the right side of your screen at UTSA and at Memphis within about a 9-day schedule against two of the top teams in the American, not named Tulane. Tulane will face both of them and face them on the road. So if they can survive that early storm, they can make their way. But those are two back-to-back road games that'll be very tough.
It's really important for any program to start fast, especially a program that we just talked about. The number of new guys on the team. You have a new quarterback. You've lost a ton of guys to the portal. You need to start fast. That's where you galvanize a team. That's where the team chemistry comes from. Winning early creates a lot of wins late in the season as well.